designed by German designers, world-class designers. And the first time you see, ooh, these are actually good-looking cars. There's potential here.
And when you look at the vehicles that these Chinese OEMs and Chinese brands are putting on the market, they are some very good vehicles.
So we'll effectively be charging a 25% tariff, but if you build your car in the United States, there is no tariff.
If Tesla had not had price cuts of 20 to 30%, they probably would have actually had sales drop last year.
Trump thought his tariffs would crush China's EV ambitions. Instead, BYD took their billions, skipped America, and is now dominating Europe. But here's the kicker. His plan might have hurt U.S. consumers more than China. How did BYD pull this off? Stay tuned for the full breakdown. Before we move forward, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Trump's tariffs were supposed to be a slap in the face for Chinese automakers. The whole idea was simple: make it too expensive for companies like BYD to sell in the US, protect American jobs, and teach China a lesson in economics. But what actually happened? BYD looked at those tariffs, shrugged, and said, "All right then, keep your market."
I don't think anywhere in the history of the automobile has any company enjoyed such explosive growth in such a short period of time.
Instead of doubling down in a losing battle, they pulled the ultimate power move, exiting the US and expanding somewhere else entirely. Talk about flipping the board when you don't like the rules.
The EV market in China is owned by BYD, and they're just starting to export globally to places like Australia, Japan, Europe, and...
Here's where BYD took things to another level. While Trump was busy patting himself on the back, BYD was making big plays in Europe. In Hungary, they built a production hub that's now cranking out electric buses like bread rolls at a bakery. On top of that, they set up an R&D center, diving into cutting-edge EV tech and solidifying their presence in the European market. That's not just a pivot, it's a masterclass in strategy.
Sign of their growing confidence. Say, look, we can do what Ferrari or Lamborghini or Porsche can do.
Instead of being hampered by tariffs, they spotted an opportunity where the US wasn't looking. You see, one of BYD's key strengths is vertical integration, which is just a fancy way of saying they make a lot of their own stuff. Batteries? Check. Semiconductors? Also check. Most automakers have to beg suppliers for parts, but BYD kept themselves ahead of the game by controlling their supply chain. That gave them the flexibility to compete globally without inflating costs, a luxury many of their Western counterparts don't have.
Back and think about BYD, it's a company that's achieving the most explosive growth we've ever seen in the auto business in 100 years.
So instead of struggling under tariffs, they took that same energy and reinvested it abroad. The bigger question here is, did Trump's strategy backfire? Because while the tariffs might have looked tough on paper, BYD expanded into Europe, Latin America, and beyond. Oh, and by the way, they surpassed Tesla in global EV sales by 2023.
If Tesla had not had price cuts of 20 to 30%, they probably would have actually had sales drop last year.
Will respond in a couple of ways. One, they're going to slow down production in foreign plants for vehicles that are imported here to the United States.
What started as an America First policy turned out to be a gift-wrapped package of global opportunities for BYD, and they ran with it. And this is only the beginning. BYD isn't just outmaneuvering Trump. They're reshaping the entire EV industry, one bold move at a time. Where does the rest of the world fit into this new hierarchy? That's where things get even more interesting.
And when you look at the vehicles that these Chinese OEMs and Chinese brands are putting on the market, they are some very good vehicles.
BYD didn't just leave the US, they turned their exit into a masterstroke of strategy. When the American market became too costly, BYD simply looked elsewhere. Europe, Latin America, Southeast Asia. They didn't just expand, they adapted, conquering region by region.
It's definitely BYD's effort to enter that really luxury segment of the market. I mean, the cars are either extremely gigantic.
So we'll effectively be charging a 25% tariff, but if you build your car in the United States, there is no tariff.
This wasn't some cookie-cutter approach either. BYD rewrote the rules, customizing their strategy for every market in ways that left Western automakers scrambling to keep up. Take Europe, for example. BYD didn't storm in with fully electric vehicles that might have hit barriers in a market still transitioning from gas and diesel. Instead, they leaned heavily on plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, PHEVs. Why? Europe still struggles with an uneven charging infrastructure, and PHEVs offer the perfect middle ground, a taste of full electrification without the fear of getting stranded. While Western car makers were busy phasing out hybrids, BYD was selling them as the new must-have. And the response? Governments rolled out the red carpet.
BYD has grown into this powerhouse. You look at the monthly rankings, they're always at the top.
Hungary described BYD's investment there as one of the most significant foreign manufacturing ventures in recent memory, with jobs and tech pouring in. Now, over in Latin America, the terrain and consumer expectations are wildly different. Instead of just tweaking their European lineup, BYD built vehicles suited for local conditions. Long-range, tough-as-nails cars made to handle unpaved roads and sparse charging points. If you've ever been in a city like Sao Paulo or Bogota, you've probably seen BYD electric buses. Durable, reliable, and paired with maintenance packages that local governments love. While American EV brands stumbled through supply chain nightmares, BYD was training local operators and setting up digital platforms for bus fleet management. That kind of foresight doesn't just build sales, it builds loyalty.
BYD is so much ahead of Tesla in China, it's like it's almost ridiculous.
Imagine that if you had that same demand, you're going to put a 25% tariff on 7.38 million vehicles.
Meanwhile, Western automakers were still theorizing their next move, tied up in red tape and supply shortages, while BYD built factories in months, not years. They shaped EV standards in real time, from safety features in Europe to durability in Latin America. Each move showed one thing: BYD doesn't just sell cars, they reshape markets. So, what does this mean for the US? If they're not careful, they might be looking at a playbook they can't catch up to.
This is very exciting to me. This is the automobile industry, and this will continue to spur growth like you haven't seen before.
Is here. He is starting with the latest shots fired in Donald Trump's trade war. This time it's tariffs on automobile imports.
Trump's tariffs were supposed to protect American jobs and stick it to China, but instead they handed BYD a blueprint for global domination. While U.S. consumers were left with fewer affordable EV options, BYD thrived by adapting and expanding into markets that welcomed them with open arms. Ironically, the same strategy meant to weaken foreign competition made American brands look sluggish and underprepared.
President Trump signing an order just a few hours ago for a 25% tariff on auto imports, taking effect next Wednesday. Let's take a listen.
Designed by German designers, world-class designers, and the first time you see, ooh, these are actually good-looking cars. There's potential here.
The real question now is whether the U.S. will learn from BYD's playbook or keep getting outpaced. At this point, BYD isn't just selling cars. They're proving that adaptability beats short-sighted policies every time.